What's up, guys? So today we have Erich Preach. He is one half of a popular YouTube channel, Abba and Preach, boasting 863,000 subscribers. We get into how him and Abba met and how they started the YouTube channel and more. Enjoy. When did you guys kind of see that it like seriously started picking up like traction? Like, did you kind of tweak anything to pull more traction, or you just kept doing what you were doing? Or
The thing, gotta be honest with you, the thing that helped us was COVID.
for real?
Everybody was inside, everybody was at home, everybody was bored. They didn't have nothing to do. So what they did, they went online. Pre-COVID, we were at 235,000
No
followers.
way.
Now
That's
we're
nuts.
like 862.
That's nuts.
COVID helped because people didn't have nothing to do.
So have you and Abba kind of talked about maybe future plans of like where you want the direction of the channel to go, or are you just kind of rolling with it?
Well, yeah, we talk about it. We would talk about it often. Like before COVID, we wanted to do a tour. We were supposed to do a world tour, but COVID happened, so that was put on ice, right? So it's just it's COVID changed a lot of things, but we're still looking at what's happening. We have to look around and we have to be vigilant of what's going on. So everything changes all the time, so we don't know. We're just looking at right now, you know what I mean? We're constantly looking at what's going on to see what the direction and what we should do, how we should manage this whole thing.
For sure. And on the individual end, like what are you guys' kind of individual projects? I know you said that you do like the stand-up. How's that kind of been adjusting with the
Well, now it's been
content?
dead. You know, they just in Montreal, they just shut down everything again. So we're back inside.
Yeah.
No bars, no clubs, no comedy clubs, no venues, no nothing, right? No restaurant outings, nothing. We're not even allowed to see friends. So
yeah,
that stopped when, like, I think we reopened everything in, what was it? End of May, June. And even Abba was not really on the comedy, because I understand, like, it's hard to do. Even me, I haven't written anything new when I was in COVID. To write something new in comedy, I need for stuff to happen, and everything was not fully happening. You understand what I'm saying?
Because I'm sure as you guys are growing and people are recognizing your faces, have offers been popping up in terms of like, would you like to come here, do this, or have you guys kind of focused your efforts mainly in where you're at, and then, or what's that kind of been like?
It depends on what the offer is.
Right.
It depends what the offer is. So it depends. I'm at the point where I don't want to do stuff because I have to do it. I want to do stuff because I want to do it.
For sure.
Because I feel like doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, like, yeah, of course offers came, but you know, I don't want to do it. Yeah. I don't. And people ask me, oh, why did you want to do this? It's a good opportunity. Yeah, but I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's always a bad feeling whenever you do something, like whether it's like whatever it is. You do something and it's just, ugh.
I think it's a goal for a lot of people, and a luxury, in my opinion, to be able to say no to a lot of jobs.
It's a privilege. Definitely, it's a privilege to be able to be like,
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, nah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, but it's a lot of money. It ain't about the money. I don't. Right. It's not that. That's not. Nah, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? It is a luxury to do that, to be able to do that.
You said you were born and raised in Montreal, so you must speak on like kind of like family life, and like what was that like? Like, because I'm an immigrant. I was born in Nigeria, moved to New York, and then I moved to Calgary. So Calgary for most of my life has been home, but I guess my roots are elsewhere. But what's it been like for you growing up, born in Montreal, that kind of stuff, speaking French?
Well, it's weird because like my parents came here, right? So it's like you don't belong nowhere, really. I don't belong anywhere. I belong elsewhere and nowhere at the same time. My grandparents, they look at me and they're like, nah, you're not Haitian, right? The people that live here, they're like, yeah, you're not Canadian. You know, so like, where do you fit in? where is it that you fit in? You know what I mean? It's just a feeling that you don't fit in. You have to find your spot. You have to find where you fit in, where you make your place and stuff, because these people are not gonna
like
necessarily acknowledge you just because you live there.
growing up, like, did you have like any sort of kind of group to confide in terms of, because you said, so you have a Haitian background. Did you like
Yeah,
have?
but you have to understand, like back then, on top of that, back then, it was not cool to say that you were Haitian. So we couldn't even like celebrate our pride like that. It's like we're on year 24 of soon 25 of it being cool of being a Haitian. And what determines that is when the Fugees and the Scores, the Fugees released their second album, The Score. That was the first time I seen an artist proudly say that he was Haitian and speaking Creole and showing his culture. And then it became cool to be Haitian after that point. But before that point, it was not cool. So you couldn't even like be even when I was Haitian, because I was living in a white neighborhood, right? Even being Haitian, when I was amongst my peers, they were like, "Oh no, you sound too white, or you're this, or you're that." Like, you know what I mean? So I was never really fitting in nowhere.
So moving to Calgary and having a Nigerian background, all that kind of thing. I always did have a group of Nigerian friends to hang out with, to confide with. But like most of my schools, if not all of my schools, were predominantly white, like wealthy schools, that kind of thing. And I didn't really have I had a lot of comments of being like, oh, I've really told, like, people tell me like, oh, you sound white or you talk white. And it's like, and I don't think it really has anything, it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's just, that's just my environment. Like, this is just how I speak. This is how I sound. And I don't think it should be a thing that's like put on us as, African Canadians, African Americans, to like prove our blackness. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people, because of like what they see on media, they expect you, yo, what's up, man? Like, how's it going, man? My brother, this and that. It's like sometimes, we're at the end of the day, dude, we're just regular dudes.
Wait, so what happened is I was always changing the way I would speak depending on my surroundings, yeah? So my speech and my accent would actually change depending on who I was with. But I would speak, I would tweak my accent just not to take too much space. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, at some point it would and that's any language that I speak. Like, I'm gonna have the different accents with that, just to blend in, just for people not to like be on my case, bully me or whatever.
And that's
the change.
That's a thing that I feel like a lot of people without the perspective might not understand about being like a Black Canadian, or not, because I think, especially this year where racial tensions and all that kind of stuff is like a huge issue. I think this opens the door for a lot of us to speak our mind in terms of our experiences. And like, I for the most part have had obviously an amazing experience living in Canada. I think for the most part, we all do treat each other very well, but there's, the subtleness of not being able to be comfortable being yourself, being embracing your own culture, because as a kid, obviously it's different now because we're all a bit grown up, we're more confident in ourselves and in how we were raised. But as a kid, just like I said, the schools that I went to, you pack, some Nigerian food in your, and I think every kid has gone through this of like, people say, oh, that's nasty. Like, what is that? Oh, it smells this. And then you almost don't want to be you. You want to chase what other people think is cool, this and that. And I think that's just a maturity. That's mainly for me was just a maturity process of understanding that those opinions should not dictate how you feel about your own culture and that kind of
You just don't want to be bothered. I just didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want people's comments. I didn't want anything like that. I just want to live my life. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't want to be bothered. So me switching up, that's what it was. It was just me switching up. So depending on, like, if I was going back home and I speak the level of French that the Quebecers speak, because they sent me to a French school from France where all the teachers were from France. I had their accent, or when I was around Quebecers, I would speak like them, and when I was around my parents, I would speak like them. But I had to switch. I had to switch because if I would speak like a Quebecer around my parents, I would get a beating. If I would speak like a Haitian around the Quebecers, I would get a beating. So I kept on switch. I just want people to leave me alone. Excuse my language. It was really that, and that's why. And that stayed. Me taking on. You see me taking on different accent when I speak. You hear me? It's just different thing that me do. You hear? It's just me now want to take space. Me just want to do my thing, and that's the reason why.
Yeah. Do you? So back to kind of like the family thing. Do you have siblings, or was it? Just,
I got a sister. I got an older sister.
What we kind of try to wrap up on is kind of what family has meant to you growing up and contributing to your, I guess, current career path, if we want to call it that, or just how they've kind of on both ends criticized it, or even now love it. How has that been?
Now they love it, but the thing that happened is that being Haitian, your parents, not your parents. My mom was using everything I was saying to her against me. That's how we kind of raised. There's a lot of toxic things. My parents did great; they did a good job. But being big immigrants, they do a lot of toxic that I believe. Yeah, at some point I was just not telling her anything. Imagine, like right now I'm 38. At some point I was 34. I was 1 year in comedy, and she was always asking me, "So when are you going back to school?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going back later on. Like I'm gonna do my."
It's a thing that's tough for them to learn, obviously, and
yeah. They just want you. They just want their kids to be successful and not have to struggle. You understand? And I get that. But me telling her what my plan was her always constantly being my case and using that against me. It's on her side and on their side. It's not using. That's not how they call it. It's just making you conscious of how hard it could be and blah 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 blah, whatever.
That's why I'm always hyper conscious of it, because obviously, and I know you understand as well, that they moved here. You can't move here with kids and then just start pursuing whatever.
They're in a emergency mode. They gotta do stuff. They gotta stack some paper, take care of kids and take care of families. And sometimes they have to bring the other family members here and stuff like that. So yeah, they can't afford to be like, oh, you know what? Let me just go about my dream. And then from that, I believe they have PTSD. And it stays. So I'm like, yo, mom, we've been here. It's cool. Like, you change your life so I can live this life. You understand? But I'm not gonna try to stay there and try to explain this to my mom. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm going back to school, when I knew I was not going back.
Yeah.
It was prison for me. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
I'm not going back to school. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it was. And I would drop bombs on them when the project was done, when the nomination was confirmed like a Don King perm. I would drop that on them, but other than that, I wouldn't tell them anything, or they would just figure it out reading the papers.
Well, no, that's all I got for you, man. I really appreciate you taking out the time.
Hey, pleasure, bruv.
You gluten free at all? Are you cool?
Nah, I eat food.
You good? All right.
I eat whatever.
Okay, cool.
I'm like Drake. I eat everything.
I'll send you some free stuff, man. Right,
yeah, sure. If you go on to Instagram, the address is in the bio.
The PO.
More. Yeah. On the Erich Preach Instagram, you can. It's all there.
I appreciate it, bro.
Hey, pleasure.
All right, take care, man.
Take care of yourself. It was a pleasure. Eat your vegetables and be safe, right?
Thanks, bro.
Peace, mate.